All right, hey everyone. Welcome to Tellor Dev Call, November 20th. Thanksgiving week already. Um, Super exciting. So not a whole lot of big news. Things are going well. I was out. I can kind of share my experience. I just got back from Turkey, so I was out at DevConnect for the past week. It was a really great time. So if I caught you, it was great meeting you. If I didn't, I missed so many people. Just because it was this like unconference thing where you would go and there was actually no planned event, so it was just a whole bunch of side events. So what happened is there were like 10 events every day, and you had no idea where anybody was going to be. Um, but it was good. You got to meet a whole bunch of new people. Um, First day I did restaking summit, which was more of my personal interest, talking about systemic risks of eigenlayer and Lido. So I got to go spread the word there. It was good. I think a lot of people understand kind of why it's a bad idea. Like, and originally, like a lot of people, if you're following this topic closely, you would know like in the past, Eigenlayer had talked like, oh, we're going to be doing oracles as well. Um, but a lot of the people who know like are backing off on that statement and saying like Eigenlayer probably won't do oracles. Um, just because I think since there is like a giant systemic risk to Ethereum just having restaking and stuff like that, they're going to try and I think for the short term stick to very non-controversial deterministic things. Like you can tell very easily whether someone should get slashed or not, and it's not as big of a deal, which um, there's still other risks with doing it, but at least then you don't have this like comes down to a DAO vote whether or not to end Ethereum. Um, so that was good. And then Justin Drake did an awesome job. He was kind of the EF representative who laid into him. Second day, I did the Unstable Summit. So I did lots of stable coins. I spoke. I was on a panel and did a roundtable there, which was really good. So talking about lots of stable coins. Um, Big thing with stable coins is everyone's putting staked ETH, or everybody wants to know how to put staked ETH or some version of staked ETH and how to do it inside of your stablecoin. So I think there's some openings for oracles there, namely as far as picking which stablecoins should, which staked ETH you should be able to put in there and how much of it. It's still kind of open questions, and everyone's still debating. So that seems to be where stablecoins are going. It's okay. It's this new idea, like stablecoins in a way, like the way everyone talks about them now. Like even talked with the Liquidity guys a lot. Everyone has given up on the payments use case. Like the idea that like I'm going to hold a stablecoin and we're going to use it in like Argentina or something like that for people to have access. Like that's like everybody's like, ah, that's Tether. Like we'll just leave it over to Tether. Everyone's like, we're building leverage tools and we're gonna call them stable coins. Like how can you go 4x long on ETH in a stable coin design? It's weird. It's like hyper financialization. It's just a completely different use case. So anyway, was that then the last day we did cross-chain interoperability. Um, at the Decentralized Scaling Summit. This was Gnosis. Super good. So we had a giant roundtable on bridge standards, which was in
You
some ways,
solved it.
yeah, we saw, which is in some way nauseating, like the idea to me of sitting down for 4 hours coming up with a function name or, you know, the right piece, the right standard. It's like I don't even like it's one of those things like it doesn't matter to me. Just let me know which one to use. We'll go use it. Like you guys all seem smart. You all have your right way of doing it. But it all comes down like the same way. We had done this in the past with oracles. How can you standardize? And everyone's like the IBC people were there and they've done phenomenal research and they have great ways of doing it. But then you talk to like Hyperlane or Layer Zero or you know, like basically anyone with any actual users, and they're like, well, our way's best, we're not changing. And you're like, all right, well, this isn't, it's probably not going to go anywhere. So I don't think anything's going to necessarily come of it. I think in the future it'll just how it evolves. But yeah, yeah, the bridge standard piece was no good. People don't necessarily agree, and they like their own solutions. So see where it lands. But I also don't. I like it in some ways. The decentralization maxi in me likes, you know, like let's not standardize. Let's just keep it. Even if you have like 10 different versions of USDC on a new chain, like that's super awful for, you know, actually doing anything with USDC on the other chain. And it's like a pain in the ass on a UX basis. But from like a decentralization standpoint, it's not the worst thing in the world. So yeah, pros and cons. Anyway, yeah, that was it. Smoked a lot of hookah, met a lot of really cool people. So it was a fun time. Thanks to everyone who kind of gave us some feedback, talked Blair a ton. Just lots of people were giving us good feedback, good use cases. People seem excited. So yeah, very excited. Everyone kind of sees the vision too. So it was like, you know, like I got the chance, like I pitched Layer to like really like people who I like look up to and consider really smart in the space. And then, you know, this is like it seems to be a good path for oracles to go down, and this is like where, you know, some of the next designs are going to be, and they give us some feedback, and we're thinking about the right problems, so it's good.
No one said, oh, you guys are idiots for doing that.
Yeah, no, it was really good. I think some of the bigger pieces are just going to be, we're going to have to work really hard on the bridge as far as how we can get latency down for people's oracles. That's the biggest piece, is, you know, how we do a bridge and how we do deal with those latency issues are going to be a big piece. I mean, but like we're trying to deal with those latency issues, but it's going to be like 10 times better than current Tellor. Like it's like, you know, so like it's not like staying at current Tellor is like a better option or anything like that. It's like how can we compete with the centralized Oracle even? So it's still super exciting, and it's a right option. But then, you know, and then I think just piggybacking on a lot of the, you know, there's like ZK IBC and other bridges that are just super fast. And it'll be, yeah, it'll be good. We can probably team up with like Hyperlane and Layer Zero. We can just do partnerships with all of them and just like format it in any of the and then just announce partnerships, and then yeah, have it like actually decentralized underneath the hood, so it'll be good. Anyway.
Yeah, but the latency issues that we're gonna be having to solve, I feel like everybody that eventually moves into their own chain is gonna have to do the same. So
For sure. Yeah, no, I mean we're not solving any unique problems. So
it'll be an industry effort.
yes.
Everybody's working on this.
So yeah, I think it's going to be just important, you know, like we don't get married to one idea, because I think that this whole space is really evolving super fast. And, you know, like the similar problem I see with, like, as we were talking the standards, a lot of these people were very much hardcore on their own thing. And I think just being open to evolving over time, because other people are going to build much better solutions than we can. You know, we're not a crazy ZK heavy team or anything like that, and there's going to be really smart people who are solving this, and going to be willing to admit that and go with the way that the market moves will keep us flexible and able to succeed. So yeah. That said, what did I miss this week? Tim, how's things?
Good, yeah. So we have one user interested in the snapshot, using our snapshot query type and integration. So I actually pushed some changes to like the README that explain how to get us set up on the snapshot side and on the Zodiac module side. Um,
Nice.
so there's that. I was having trouble with my bridge contract. Just some input in there somewhere is wrong. So I kind of put that down for a few days. I don't know what it is. It just takes a million inputs, and it could just be one little thing somewhere.
I'm gonna go take a
So
look for you.
okay.
You maybe
Um,
maybe this afternoon you can walk me through it and we can.
For sure. Okay. Yeah. And then I've got a little transition contract for transitioning from our current Oracle and master,
Nice.
which, yeah, I think that needs like a storage for Liquidity to be able to continue reading from it. So I kind of just put over our playground storage.
Okay.
That's what I think, because of the way they currently use this, it has to keep reading that same way. But anyways, and what was the other contract? There was one other contract I made. It's having a blank. That's what I got.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, just do some help those guys out with the snapshot piece. That'll be the biggest thing, and then yeah, looking forward to see what you got on the other side.
Okay.
Ryan, how's things?
Good. Dan and I trudged through weeks 1 and 2, got the passed the first exam over the weekend. So making really good progress on that. And then there's a couple things on the front end I need to adjust, namely getting Arbitrum updated, and then I wanted to check out what's going on with the remaining balance. Not sure if it's reading correctly, but just wanted to make sure it is.
Cool. Dan?
Yeah, the Academy's been super awesome, very helpful looking at the layered code. And I'm working on some tests for the weighted median.
Oh, cool.
And you're done with the registry, right?
Yep.
Cool. Spotty?
Hey, do I have audio?
Yep.
Okay. I was working on the Akram was working on it too, the DVM last week, just making sure that it's working great, getting updated, bug testing. Yeah, and then supporting a couple of new reporters. We have a few new stakers, new stake addresses that I've never seen before. Some of them have reached out in the Discord and some haven't, but it's cool to see new reporters coming up. Other than that, I will also be working on the Cosmos class.
Cool. All right. Mike, Brenda, anything?
Yeah, I started to talk on some new ideas I have for layer messaging and website refresh, and also stuff we're going to be doing for ETHDember around the layer launch, so we can get that started. And yeah, I'm going to pull out some clips from the Stable Summit panel that you were on. I have a hard copy of it. I'm going to try to pick out some of your best moments. There are any. I've only watched the first few minutes yet, but we should get some cool clips to use from that talk. And I'm sure, I mean, there were other talks that you just described earlier in the call, so hopefully we'll get access to those soon. Yeah, that's about it for me.
Cool. Yeah. Well, any questions, guys? Or
No questions in the Discord.
none today. Yeah. So, and then there's the DyDx thing going on today, or yesterday and today. If you guys are following that, it's a very interesting one. So this is for those of you that like, basically somebody manipulated the entire market to attack a DyDx position. They actually threw the price of urine. They pumped it and then dumped it to attack an underlying derivatives position. And this is very illegal in TradFi, but it's legal here. And it just shows that this is...
Or is it legal or is it just more possible?
You're right. It could... Well, I mean, DyDx doesn't even allow U.S. customers, so you couldn't even say it's illegal under U.S. law. But
is that legal in other countries? Like, I mean...
I don't know where they're...
Like, it shouldn't be.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, it's... But you can't, like if you're building a derivatives protocol or you're building a stable coin or anything like that, like a lot of people will talk to the Oracle about, how secure are you as an Oracle? Can you secure $100 million position on DyDx or something like that? And it's always more complicated than that, even on the Oracle side. But I think what we're going to see is that most of the time the markets can't, and that's your bigger issue. People are going to start getting riskier with just manipulating these prices in general, and the Oracle can put it on just fine. You're going to have bigger issues. So I think we're going to start seeing people cap some of these, and it'll be really good. So, but stay tuned to follow that, because I think the more interesting discussion is DyDx. This was on DyDx v3. They're recently moving to v4, where they're their own Oracle. And the big controversy comes around. So DyDx has an insurance fund to pay out certain people. And they're withholding it, saying it was market manipulation. Because that's what the person was probably after, was an insurance payment from them. And they're saying that it was market manipulation. Can they do that? I don't know. But then ultimately, like in DyDx v4, when they're also running their own oracles, they could even not push a price, and they would have the option of like not even kicking it off, which would ruin a whole bunch of things. But yeah, there's a bunch of questions for them.
Not more than just the market manipulation.
Yeah. Got to build in some regulators. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you later.